Key protocols for crime scene management by first responders. Circumstances a first responder should bear in mind upon arrival. Immediate assessment of the scene. Upon arrival at the scene, first responders are faced with a multitude of challenges and responsibilities. First and foremost, they must ensure all persons' immediate safety. This includes assessing the scene for threats such as ongoing violence, hazardous materials, or unstable structures. The first responder must also consider the overall circumstances surrounding the incident. This involves evaluating the nature and severity of the crime, the number and conditions of victims, and the potential for additional harm. Securing the area and preventing further harm. The first responder must also bear in mind the need to preserve the crime scene's integrity. This involves preventing contamination or alteration of potential evidence. They must know where they step, what they touch, and how their actions might impact the investigation. Remembering that the first responder's actions and decisions can significantly influence the outcome of the subsequent investigation and legal proceedings is crucial. Who should be permitted to enter a crime scene and necessary protocols? Authorized responders, law enforcement, medical personnel, and investigators. Regarding who should be permitted to enter a crime scene, the general rule is that only those individuals necessary for the investigation and processing of the scene should be allowed access. This typically includes law enforcement officers, crime scene investigators, forensic experts, and occasionally medical personnel. All other individuals, including the media, curious onlookers, and even other law enforcement personnel not directly involved in the investigation, should be kept out of the crime scene to prevent contamination and maintain the integrity of the evidence. Protocols for scene preservation and evidence handling. Authorized responders who are permitted to enter the crime scene must follow specific protocols. First, they should only enter the scene after donning appropriate personal protective equipment. This may include gloves, booties, and sometimes full-body suits, depending on the nature of the scene. This not only protects the responder from potential hazards but also prevents the transfer of contaminants into the crime scene. Next, they should follow the established path of entry and exit, which the first responder or lead investigator typically determines. This path is designed to minimize the disturbance of evidence. Responders should also avoid touching anything unnecessary for their duties and should never eat, drink, smoke, or use personal electronic devices at the crime scene. Chain of custody and documentation procedures. In addition, all actions taken within the crime scene should be documented appropriately. This includes noting the time of entry and exit, the tasks performed, and any changes made to the scene. If any evidence is collected, it should be properly packaged, labeled, and logged for later analysis. Furthermore, any observations or potential leads should be thoroughly recorded and communicated. Photos should be taken to capture the scene from various angles, and sketches can also be used to provide additional context. Every team member has a role to play, and coordination is crucial to avoid contamination of evidence. Respecting the scene's integrity by minimizing unnecessary movement or alterations is also essential. Missteps can compromise the investigation, so meticulous attention to detail is crucial. Summary. Efficient crime scene management emphasizes careful documentation, communication, and procedure adherence. All responders should constantly communicate with the lead investigator and each other, sharing information and updates as they occur. This helps ensure a coordinated and practical approach to processing the crime scene.